Hearing dogs. It's snowing. It's snowing. It's snowing for me. Snowing for you. And all the deer that knows. It's snowing for them too. Owls. Anything else? What else is on here? Oh, worms. What else is on here? Go ahead. Everything. What else is on there? Is that popcorn? Popcorn is on here. Owls. Buildings. Yes. What do you think? Pokemon is on here. Snakes are on here. What's that? What do you say? Oh, D&D. Cars are on here. Buildings are on here. Science are on here. Sun is on here. Maybe we should say this one to everything. Everything. Wonderful. It's snowing. Sing with us. It's snowing. It's snowing for me. And it's snowing for you. And all the everything. It's snowing for them too.
Lovely to see all of you today. Thank you so much for coming. We are going to do our new tent while we walk into the temple, and once we're in there, can I have all of the kids take one of those cushions, bring it in with them, and sit in the middle carpet? And then we're going to listen with our ears and keep our bodies still while we hear a great story. So get started. Welcome, everyone. It's so good to see you this morning on this chilly, cold morning in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We're at the Zen Buddhist temple together, grown-ups and children together for this time. So, you know what we do first at the temple? Whenever we come in, we look at the altar and we do 3 prostrations. Who here knows how to do a prostration? Okay, so let's stand up and do them. You all, if you could stand up too, all the grown-ups too. If you feel like you cannot do a full prostration, you're welcome just to bow. But up here, we're going to do full prostrations. So, all right, does everyone remember that we go down on our knees?
Yes.
Okay, so grown-ups, watch the person in front of you if you think they know what they're doing, or watch one of us because we all do know what we're doing. Sort of. All right, so we make bow. And we come up. Now we go down on our knees. Okay, so we look at the Buddha with our hands and palm. And then we come down and put our forehead on the floor. Put our palms up and back out. And up we go on our feet. Hey, we're gonna do this 3 times. We've done it once so far. Look at the Buddha. And up we go one more time. Down we go. Remember to look at the Buddha. Down. This time, come back up to our knees. And look at the Buddha again. And down one more time. And then up we go. And make back. Wonderful job, everyone. Okay, so the next thing today that we always do, can anyone tell me what our next thing is? Yeah. 3 refuges. That's what we do. Okay? So can I ask everyone to repeat after me? I take refuge in the Buddha.
I take refuge in the Buddha,
The awakened one.
the awakened one,
The awakened heart in us all.
the awakened heart in us all.
I take refuge in the Dharma.
I take refuge in the Dharma,
Moral discipline and wisdom.
moral discipline and wisdom.
I take refuge in the Sangha.
I take refuge in the Sangha,
The happy and joyous community
the happy and joyous community
of all living beings.
of all living beings.
Okay, so now, the nice part. We're all going to sit on our cushions or on the floor, and we're going to sit for 5 minutes in meditation. So no playing, no talking, and, well, you can, but you have to sit in meditation first. Okay, I'm going to ring the bell once, and then we're all going to be quiet for 5 minutes, okay? And when we're quiet, I want everyone here to listen to your breath as it comes out of your mouth, okay? Remember to listen to your breath as it comes out of your mouth. In and out. Wow, gold star, everyone. Grown-ups and kids, really good job. Today, we have a very special day. We have a story about a bodhisattva named Jijang Bosal. Jijang Bosal is a very special bodhisattva who has a bald head, and he helps all of us when we have a need for it. And you know what? He appears just when you need it. And the other person who does that is Haju Sunan. Just when you need her, there she is. And just like that, she's with us today to tell us a story about Jijang Bosal. Haju.
Can you please put up your finger? It's how many hats I just put up on the table? Yes, everyone is right. Very good, let's just count them together.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Put your finger up if you got it right. Good. One of the main teachings in our Buddhist practice is attention, paying attention. And not only just attention, but attention. And not only attention, but attention, and attention. Pretty beautiful when we're really learning to pay attention. So, I have another counting for you because today is a day in our Buddhist year when we think about the Bodhisattva of Great Vow, B-O-W, vow. And the one that we're used to always seeing is this one, this version. There are many different versions. And there are quite a few up there if you look at the altar. Yeah, so how many are there that you can count? Get a finger for each one. Gee, I see 4, I see another 4, I see 3, I see 5. Right, kind of put them on you. So we really have to see attention. One person has changed their number to 5. One person says 10. And one mom says 10. Wow.
Wait, does the big one count? What are we counting?
Okay, I don't remember, so let's just start counting, we'll see. Number,
Three, four, five, six,
any more?
There's one on the candle. There's one on the candle.
Go ahead, could you please show me, put your finger on. Oh, you're thinking of this one in the middle?
And then there's one right there.
There's one there, that's right. Yeah. Oh, and there's one over there.
There's one here. There's two here. There's two here. And there's one up there.
Okay, please sit down.
And one there.
I even missed a couple that you guys, thank you.
And there's one right there.
Hey, let's go with the story about Jijung Posel. First say Jijung
Jijung
Posel.
Posel.
Jijung Posel.
Jijung Posel.
Jijung Posel is in our Buddhist tradition the Bodhisattva. That's a person who is a 5-star helper. The Bodhisattva of great vow made a vow to help all people before he awakened himself. So the Bodhisattva of great help.
Over there.
Okay.
Over there is another one.
You think so? Yeah? Okay. All right, get in a good position so you can listen very well about this story. Over the years and over the decades and over the centuries in Asia, like in China and Japan and Korea, it has been the custom to go around roads and sidewalks and even kind of marketplaces and shopping malls, closer to this day, and see, just like you've seen, these little Jijung Posels. Sometimes very little, sometimes quite big, and sometimes really big as a room. Quite beautiful. And people go to those because Jijung Posel Bodhisattva said it always helps travelers and always helps children and mothers. And a lot of times we'll go to places to help where nobody else will go. So the story takes place at this time when there are many Jijung Posel statues on the sidewalks and streets, and even in little crooks and crannies. We used to have one of ours just in the wood pile outside there. There was an old couple, and it was this time of year exactly. The snow really hadn't come yet, and it had been a really hard year. Their vegetable garden had not flourished. There was drought. So lots of things that did flourish, like weeds and even trees, struggled. And they had no money. And so they sat down together over a cup of tea because they had some mint leaves so they could make some tea. What are we going to do? Winter's coming and we have no food. They had been using their food very carefully, but it was gone. And so they said, we should go to the market. Maybe we can sell something or trade something and get some groceries. And so what can we sell? They had nothing that they could think of. But then they came up with the idea that in one of their sheds on their property, they had some straw and they had some hay. And they thought, maybe we can weave that into hats. days. I mean, look, they're often made out of grasses and straws. So the two of them, not
Except this one.
the, we're gonna use this one especially in a little while. And it has something to do with your dad.
What?
But right now, we can leave it right here. So they began, as best they could, to weave and make some hats from the straw. They thought maybe people would buy hats. So it took them a little while, a few days, but they worked very hard, and they came up with one. These ones are straw, but I couldn't find our straw one. They were just this shape with a point and down like this. You've probably seen them before. Again, one of our fathers is going to work with this. And so they very carefully wrapped a cloth around them, called it bojagi, and went in the morning to the market, very hopeful that they would be able to sell their hats. 3 of them is what they made, but they hoped even selling one or trading one for some root vegetables, because they knew that root vegetable soup could always be made. And so they set up at the market, sitting on the ground. It was cold. And some other merchant farmer had made a little fire. And so they would, from time to time, go over and warm themselves, hoping all the time for someone to come and see the hat that they had so carefully made and buy or trade. It didn't happen. And so, as it got dark early, like it does these days, then they put the bojagi, the scarf, around the 3 hats that they had made, the straw ones, and trudged back to their little home, their little farm. Quite discouraged and sad. What were they going to do? And as they went off the main road, onto the road to their farm, there were, and they always remembered them, 3 Jijangposo statues standing where the road turned. So they decided to go and make a bow to the Jijangs, who was known to help when people were in distress. And so they made vows, and then the mother, the woman, got the idea. These poor Jijang statues are probably cold. So the 3 straw hats ended up on the Jijang profile. So you can imagine them, if we use this one here, kind of poor and hunched over because they were old, taking these hats. And of course, this one is way too big for this Jijang postal, but you get the idea, you can imagine what it would look like. And then they made vow, and they went back and went into their home, and they made tea again, sitting close to a small fire. There's that. Went to bed.
But they don't have a knife, right?
They what?
Do they have a knife?
A knife?
Yes.
I don't know.
Or like a chainsaw to cut down the trees to make a fire?
I don't think there was a time when there were such things as chainsaws. It was way before that, but that would have been an idea. Even their land didn't have that many trees on it because they mainly grew vegetables. So they went to bed and got up in the morning to look out and see that it had snowed. It seemed like it snowed really a lot. And so they decided to open the door, because if you've ever seen it after a snow, you open the door, you can tell how much it snowed. You bring the door in and then look. And so they opened it, and a lot of snow had fallen in the night. And there were 3 sacks at the door. And they wondered what was in the sack. It hadn't been there the night before. And so they went and gingerly opened, and there were a whole bunch of turnips. And they looked in the next sack, and there was a whole bunch of daikon radish. And they looked at each other, and they looked, and in the last one, onions and garlic. And they felt, how did this happen? So they were kind of looking around to see if anybody was around. And when they looked at the snow, there were footsteps. And so they decided, we'll follow the footsteps. If you're following this story, where do you think the footsteps went to? And don't speak out, please. My attention, folks. I cannot hear very well. Just hearing it. If everybody speaks out at once, I don't hear anything except everybody speaking at once. So please respectfully put up your hand and shout what you think happened so this old bird can hear. I want to hear what you have to say. Okay. All right. Can you shout? Can you say what you were going to say?
I think they went to the statue.
He thinks that the old people followed the footsteps to the statues. Anybody else think that too?
No.
Anybody have any other idea of how that food got there? Yes.
They gave the house to the little statues. I think they said they prayed and left sleep.
Thank you. So there was kind of a little magic that happened there.
Like when the footsteps lead it.
I can't see.
Where did the footsteps lead to?
I still couldn't hear.
Where did the footsteps lead to?
There used to be this method that where so everybody could hear well. When one person spoke, everybody said what they spoke. And then that's how people would know what you said. So would you say again what you said, and then all of you repeat so I can hear. Okay? What did you say?
Where did the footsteps lead to?
Where did the footsteps lead to?
And what did that fellow over there say? Do you remember?
To the statues.
Anybody else have any contribution? Yes.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Santa.
Oh, Santa Claus! So what's the lesson that we learn from this story?
Santa Claus. Santa Claus. Winter.
Nobody found there's any lesson in the story?
Do you have a, is there a lesson in the story?
Arthur?
It's called karma.
Karma.
It's called karma.
Karma. Can you explain, please?
Karma is if you give
Children. What?
If you give goodness to the world, goodness will come back to you. If you give badness to the world, bad stuff will come back to you. It's the karma when it happens right away.
Can you repeat it, everybody, what he said?
Karma, when you give good things to the world, good things come back to you. When you give bad things to the world, bad things come back to you.
And if you do good things for the world, good things come back.
Back to you.
That's one of the base teachings in Buddhism. Everything that you do counts. Yeah. Okay. So. That feeds among
Andy, Roberta, let's
We have one more part. So please be a little quiet and still. And thank you. Okay, so we have a special guest. But before that special guest comes in, usually Jijung Kosel has a staff with 6 rings on it. And or it could be she, goes around with the staff ringing the 6 rings together. And they catch everyone's attention. And the 6 rings stand for the 6 paramitas, which are the bodhisattva vows. First, to be generous, not to harness the second, to be patient, to be generous. I would say that. Yeah. Do we remember the 6 paramitas?
Possibly. I know most of them.
Okay.
Dana Paramita.
Dana
May
Paramita.
I be generous and helpful.
May I be generous and helpful.
Sheila Paramita.
Sheila Paramita.
May I be pure and virtuous.
May I be pure and virtuous.
Kashanti Paramita.
Kashanti Paramita.
May I be patient.
May I be patient.
May I be able to bear and forbear the wrongs of others.
May I be able to bear and forbear the wrongs of others.
Virya Paramita.
Virya Paramita.
May I be strenuous, energetic, and persevering.
May I be strenuous, energetic, and persevering.
Dhyana Paramita.
Dhyana Paramita.
May I practice meditation.
May I practice meditation
And attain concentration and oneness to serve all beings.
and attain concentration and oneness to serve all beings.
Prajna Paramita.
Prajna Paramita.
May I gain wisdom.
May I gain wisdom
And be able to give the benefit of my wisdom to others.
and be able to give the benefit of my wisdom to others.
And bring our hands together to make
Oh my gosh, Hanju, look who's here! Look! Someone's here! Ooh, look who's here! What's that sound? Oh my goodness! Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal,
Jijang Kosal,
Jijang Kosal,
Jijang
Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal, Jijang Kosal,
Welcome.
I'm Jijang Kosal.
Jijam Kosel comes to represent the 6 paramitas. So we hear the bells and remember the 6 paramitas that Jaguar just let us sing. So why are you here, Jijam Kosel?
Remind us of the 6 paramitas.
What have you got for us?
My magic staff. And my magic gems.
Jijam Kosel, is it true that with that magical gem you can grant the wishes of all sentient beings?
Only those that have vowed to be on their best behavior.
And wait, I think Jijam brought more things. Ooh. Can I have some volunteers to help me pass these out? Can you do this? Every person here one, okay? One to everyone, okay? One to every person. Well, no, you're passing them out to other people. Oh, okay.
So this is a little book that you can stand up in a center place. It has a picture of Jijam Kosel on the front of it. And it has some activities inside of it.
Everyone gets
You can give me one. Thank you.
And I guess the kids are getting them too. Everybody gets one kiss when Jijam Kosel. Jijam Tandies, all right.
The magic kiss.
Oh my gosh, you granted my wish. Wasn't it? Thank you.
And I have a few more booklets for people. Who did not get a booklet? Pass them out. Candy. Everybody gets one, okay? You don't take too many. All right, should we quick and fire and start singing? All right, is there anyone who does not have a booklet? The booklets are good for grown-ups and kids. Everyone's got one? All right, we have our lyrics choir.
Yeah, choir.
Choir and anyone else really.
Our music bodhisattva, come on up. Anyone who wants to sing loud and tolerate standing up in front of people. And we want those the National Thanksgiving tune, Jingle Bells. We've got a slightly different version.
You can sing too. Okay, wait, I need to see lyrics. Oh, you need to sing? I think the lyrics.
Here.
We already all have one.
Walking through the snow and wearing robes of gray, through the realms he goes, chanting all the way. That wish has 6 rings, wishing jewels so bright. What fun it is to meditate and wake right up tonight. Hey, Jijam bells, Jijam bells, Jijam all the way. Oh, what fun it is to live the Bodhisattva way. Hey, Jijam bells, Jijam all the way. Oh, what fun it is to live the Bodhisattva way. Dashing through samsara with all heads so bright, protecting every being, whether day or night. If you are in trouble, he will always care. He'll help you on the double and vanish in thin air. Oh, Jijam bells, Jijam all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride the Bodhisattva way. Hey, Jijam bells, Jijam all the way. Oh, what fun it is to learn the Bodhisattva way. Hey.
all the kids on your bus by standing up or do three conversations. Three goes. Okay. Ian is going to give this instruction for this one.
Well, there's no wrong, but we wanted to end our time together before we leave with Buddha's Golden Chain of Love, something we all know. I wanted Leah to come up and read it, and I need one volunteer who may not, we did it last time though. Who may not know yet how to read. Is there someone who doesn't know how to read yet? I think you do know how to read.
No, Martha does not. I do not. I do. I do not.
All right, so Alex is right next to me here. Leah, you come up and read. And everybody could, you all could sit down, that would be great. Okay, so, Leah, people are gonna repeat after you each line, okay? So let's all put our hands, does everyone remember Hapjang of open heart we learned last time? We keep it like this. This means I'm ready to listen now. Hapjang of open heart. So Leah will read. So Alexander, after each time when we repeat, you can go, okay? Bring it 3 times to start, okay?
I am a link in Lord Buddha's golden chain of love.
I am a link in Lord Buddha's golden chain of love.
I must keep my link bright and strong.
I must keep my link bright and strong.
I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing.
I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing.
And protect all those who are weaker than myself.
And protect all those who are weaker than myself.
I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts.
I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts.
Say pure and beautiful words.
Say pure and beautiful words.
And do pure and beautiful deeds.
And do pure and beautiful deeds.
Knowing that on what I do now
Knowing that on what I do now
depends not only on my own happiness,
depends not only on my own happiness,
but also that of others.
but also that of others.
May every link in Lord Buddha's golden chain of love
May every link in Lord Buddha's golden chain of love
become bright and strong. May we all attain perfect peace.
become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace.
Okay, so now let's all stand up, and I'd like Hakusuna to come over and lead us in 3 bows. And then Jijang Bosal, you can help lead us too in 3 bows, and then you can lead us out and we can chant Jijang.
And those of notice the Dantani's program, thank you for hanging in with us, and we're going to continue on for a while after this too. Okay. So making 3 goes. Just have a look at all those Jijong poses. Jijong Bosal, 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 Jijong Let us go back to Mark's meditation, which was for further meditation.
Almost 10:50. 10:50. Let us work with our posture, leaning forward, stretching the back, chin back, eyes to the ceiling. And then slowly come back up. Bring your arms up, palms in, and then out. And slowly, so you can feel the process in your spine and your back muscles, bringing the hands down into the meditation mudra. Left fingers over the right and thumbs gently touching. Bring your inner eye within your body. And very, very imperceptibly move your hip bones forward. Notice how that affects your spine. And then please raise your sternum, also almost invisibly. Lower your shoulders, also almost invisibly. And bring your shoulder blades together, imperceptibly. With your inner eye within yourself, breathe in to the count of 10, and that will be a little different for each person. And then exhale to the count of 10. All the while feeling the effect of your breathing on your whole body. And after doing this deep breathing in with full presence and deep breathing out 4 or 5 times, just allow your breath to go organic, letting go of the counting to 10 back and forth. Continue with your practice for 15 minutes, and then we'll have a little time to more deeply understand what a vow, a great vow, is like. And please stretch your legs if you need to, and then turn in this direction. It looks like a little change of pace, like standing up and doing a couple of stretches would be good, because we've been sitting around a lot. So please stand. I have these about 12 stretching things that I try not to miss doing one day at a time. I'm going to show you a couple. So this is one that affects our whole digestive system. So you have to come down and take your left hand over onto the top of your right leg, and then lean into it down and turn deeply, and then come up, and the other side. Squatting deeply, turning deeply, and bringing the breathing into it. And coming up. It's pretty strenuous, at least it is for me. And one more time on each side. Breathing, that's a very important part. And then coming up. And the last one. And coming up. And shake just a little bit. Okay, this one, pretty, let's see how it goes. So bringing the hands like you were really in a kind of hand mudra. Inhaling up. And turning and really stretching, pressing the palms toward the ceiling, and then down. And again, inhaling up so that you feel a stretching of your muscular system and your nervous system and the spine, and exhale down. And guard against the notion to just get it done and have it done for the day. And even slow it down. Bending your knees a little bit so you're not having your legs completely stretched out. This one more time. And look up while your hands are up. Press the heels up and then slowly coming down. Shake your legs a little bit. And then a little bit of shouting. Okay? Ready for some shouting? Okay, so you want to get each of your arms really going way back and listen. Ha! 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 And then we just make. Okay, please sit down again. friend of mine in the American Zen Teachers Association wrote this book about Jijang Posel in 2004, and she kindly gifted it to me when we were at one of the meetings that year. And in the Chinese sometimes and in the Japanese tradition, there are different names for Jijang Posel. Jijang Posel's for our Korean tradition. And that's what I was familiar with. She had written extensively about it in the Japanese tradition. And the stories are the same, just they have a different cultural expression depending on the country there. And I was fascinated. That's where I got that story that I told today. And when we were most recently in Korea in June, not only do you see a few Jijang Posel statues outside, but mainly you see whole rooms dedicated to them. So people there to pay devotion to our ancestors, our elders who are traveling on beyond, and all those suffering. And I remember this trip seeing this most beautiful, very big, on one whole wall, maybe this size of wall, and being really touched, sort of getting to meet Jijang Posel for the first time. And perhaps that's a case for you today. And just looking and remembering how it all came across for you. What's this hokey pokey or whatever it was for you? What I am choosing to go forward with you folks with is Jijang Posel is the Bodhisattva of great vow. And I'm wondering if you've ever made any vow, or especially any great vow. Let me just read to you the great vow that Jijang Posel made. I will help wherever there's suffering. And in more detail, I am willing to go to hell to do that. And then the other part of it is only after all beings realize awakening will I myself awaken. So implied in these vows is the assertion that although Jijang Posel has the wisdom and nature necessary to become a Buddha, he, and I like to say chi, like an androgynous, chooses to postpone their own liberation until all beings have been rescued from evil destinies which imply greed and aversion and hate and blindness. Being here at the temple, especially in the last 3 or 4 years, I have become really cognizant that people sometimes and quite often do not set any vows for themselves or intention. And therefore, because of that, when the winds of samsara, the winds of just living in this challenging world just throw us all around. Because we have not made an intention to, in the time when we get whacked, or somebody does, we haven't figured out how we would respond. And that especially is important when we're in the temple. If people have not know what the temple's about, know what life is about, and then knowing it's a temple, then how can I accord? How can I harmonize with this? Why am I even here? Eh? I mean, that's the big question. And really, who am I? Is the other big question. And it's dealt with across Buddhism and its different schools. Am I doing any of that? So, one of the things that happens is when we make a vow, say it's a vow, to really listen to somebody, listen to everybody as much as you can. And so then it turns up with these people that you really don't want to listen to. Or you're not even willing to try. I'll speak for myself sometimes. Because the vow that I have made, recently I've made a lot of vows over the years. To be even ordained, I had to make a lot of vows. So my vow, and it really just developed in front of me. It isn't like I cooked up a vow. I saw myself not listening, not actually being with situations, with my family, with friends, and with people here in my family. So I decided a couple of things. One is to have my vow was going to lean into difficult situations and to soften with them rather than. And it's hard, My daughter tells me all about the story of how she wants to get divorced, and I want to give her every bit of advice and try not to get divorced. And she just telling me, Mom, I'm taking care of this. I don't need your opinions. So then how to lean in? I was in a way trying to lean in, but I found out that giving advice is not a very good way of leaning in. Like, I know what you should be doing. I really like her husband. I hate to see the father of my grandchildren not being a close member of a family anymore. But then I had to really lean in to try to understand my daughter's feelings, and sometimes, and most of the time, just asking about the grandkids, how they're doing, tell me stories, so that she can stop being on a side, which I put her in. She's doing something I don't like. It's none of my business, but it sure is hard. And so I decided, what can I do to be accepting, really hear her? And there have been so many other, I could be here with you all morning to talk about how to soften. One of them I've been experimenting with, it's really hard. I got from Thich Nhat Hanh. Everybody knows a little bit about dear Thich Nhat Hanh, eh? He's a popularizer of Buddhism for us in the West. And it is when something comes up, instead of really doing a good job of trying to get rid of it, he suggests to say, hello, old friend. And my immediate reaction, how can I, this is the most difficult thing I have. How could it be my old friend? So, but I decided, like for instance, I've been in like more pain than I've ever had in the last 4 weeks. Hello, old friend. And back pain and all that. But I decided, well, Thich Nhat Hanh, pretty good guy. I should see what I can do with it. And I just saw myself going into duality. So while walking, the pain, pretty terrible. Hello, old friend. Question mark my time. But a little softer. Hello, old friend. And I began to feel a softening. When I'm not me, mine, and my problem and their problem, just softening into a different kind of space. Okay, I mean, you'll probably hear me speak about this because it's still a great experiment. And it's definitely a vow I haven't taken care of. Because I keep hearing and experiencing all the time. Living in a community can be like that. What I turn over to you is, what about something that's your kind of thing that you often aren't able to soften into, to say, hello, old friend. You know, it's probably old because it's a habitual pattern that has come to us for many years. Old friend? Yeah. So I ask you, this is a good season to encounter old friends, this holiday season. What's your vow? What would you come up with? Remember that you make vows, just like Jijang Posel did, not only for you, because as this young fellow said earlier, cause and effect, you're doing it for everybody. It affects everybody. So let me just ring the bell, get back into your meditation position. Position of equanimity. And without the expectation of coming up with something exactly right for you right now, at least let us take 3 minutes to just sit quietly. Maybe a vow won't even come forward. An intention won't come forward. It's not only for you, but it's for everyone. in order to respect the time schedule of the temple, which affects each of us in the planning of our day. If we come to the service, we will not have a discussion about this, but I'm going to come back to it with you, and I'm going to ask other clergy persons in the Sangha to work with this one. So in a vow, then how do we work with it skillfully? But the first thing is to have that vow, and right now, up until maybe after the New Year, it's experiment time to see what you can do, what you can do to help. And we will ask people to give talks in that direction, and then it might, at the New Year, be something your New Year's resolution is about, your vow. If you're into those things, I know some people have good reasons for not. I respect that. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Then let's finish with the 4 great vows. Grandmother. These are also things to ponder. It's like all beings, one body.
All beings, one body.
I vow to liberate.
I vow to liberate.
Blind passions, one root.
Blind passions, one root.
I vow to terminate.
I vow to terminate.
Dharma gates, one mind.
Dharma gates, one mind.
I vow to penetrate.
I vow to penetrate.
The great way of Buddha,
The great way of Buddha.
I vow to realize.
I vow to realize.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be with people who turn up like you do, to see what's up in their lives. Is it you who is doing the... Here's Magama.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome, and thank you for coming to meditate with us today. If you have any questions after the service, you can ask any of us wearing the gray, and we will try to answer your questions. When we were studying Jijang Kosal for the Dharma student program, and looking at the sources, what the literature says, there's this legend that he was entering all the hell realms to release the souls who were unjustly imprisoned in hell. And so when we were writing Jijang bells in an early draft, we rhymed Jijang bells with releasing all the souls from hell. But then we took that out because we were singing it for the kids. We thought it was a pretty good rhyme. Not since AC/DC in the 1970s has hell's been rhymed with bells. Anyway, if you'd like to receive our weekly email bulletin, please let us know, and we'll put you on the mailing list for the email bulletin. And then, I know you guys came in through that way, but if you want to come in the lobby to pick up a copy of our winter schedule, it's this gray paper like this, and I'll just go through a couple of things coming up. We have our Winter Yongman Junction, which is a 5-day retreat, which is going to be from December 27th through January 1st. That will be held in Toronto and Chicago and Mexico City. So if you're interested in traveling to Chicago or Toronto or Mexico City, talk to us. If you have not done a retreat before, but you're interested in doing one, we recommend that you start with a 1-day retreat, and we'll have some of those coming up early next year. So more information coming on that. We offer an introductory meditation course, which runs for 5 consecutive Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. So the next session of that is starting on January 12th. And if you'd like to register for that, or for any other programs that we offer, you can go to our website to register. And we offer yoga classes here on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. And then groups that are meeting today, Recovery Dharma.
We're meeting in the old temple next door at noon today in the library. So you go up the steps, please remove your shoes when you enter, and then you basically just go straight ahead into the library.
Okay, so that's in the yellow building at noon. And then today's the last day of our practice period. So the practice period is going to be meeting here. And we'd like, as before you guys go out, if you can keep the first row of mats and cushions, those nearest the carpet, but then the mats over here can go in the back corner, and the cushions can go up here on the shelf, and then the second row of mats and cushions over there can be stacked up on the stage. And when you stack the mats, please try to orient the opening, the seam opening, in the same direction for all the mats. The temple's supported by your kind donations of time and money. Thank you to everyone who has contributed so far to our fall fundraising effort. We're working on raising $40,000 for water abatement and augmenting our scholarship fund and also maintenance of our temple and our van. And there's envelopes in the lobby if you'd like to donate to the fall fundraising. There's also a fishbowl in the lobby for other monetary donations. And then if you'd like to volunteer your time, a good way to do that is by serving as a greeter, helping to orient people who are coming here for the first time, let them know what to expect during the service, giving announcements at the end of the service. It's actually pretty fun. And if anyone would like to have some herbal tea, we have 3 kinds of herbal tea over here. So if people want to socialize a little bit, you can do that after the service. And Marlon's got
Yeah, just, is Anna Gibson here today? Okay, thank you.
One announcement is we often have a little wait period for 15 minutes after this service, and we didn't last week, but we're back on. And those interested, come over to the Sangha House, the big building across the yard. We're going to do some work with seeds that we've gathered that need to be readied to be cast in the grounds in just 15 minutes. Appreciate your help. You can just go right in the door that faces the open area. Okay. Right, please stand.